Hi Pinnacle family. Today's video is all about my favorite topic, which is food. So if that interests you, stick around. And this actually is going to dive into more of the food intolerances, something that you may have heard a lot more about recently. There's some testing out there that's being marketed. And so you might have seen something about this and wondered, how is it different than allergies? Do I have this? Does my child have this? What does that mean? So this is going to be for all those parents who may have been told that their child has a sensitivity to gluten, dairy, corn, etc., or anyone who's wondering themselves, like they get severe bloating after meals, or just bouts of diarrhea or constipation or a mixture. And so there's just something going on and they're not quite sure what. And so a lot of people, 20%, are suspected to have a food intolerance of at least one food. In the book Disconnected Kids by Robert Melillo, he actually suspects and reports that 95% of children with any kind of sensory issue going on will have a food intolerance. And so this is very different than a food allergy. If you're thinking of an allergy where you're having anaphylactic shock, your throat's closing up, you're getting hives, swelling immediately, that is a food allergy. It is mediated by your IgE response, which is the immediate histamine response. So we think we would all know if we had a food allergy. But sometimes these food sensitivities or intolerances look very different, and so those are mediated by your IgG and IgM responses. And so it's a bit different to measure these. There's no skin test per se for them. You're not going to the allergist to get a scratch test. A lot of Western medicine doctors don't believe in food intolerances or sensitivities, but in our office we can clearly see the effects and healing that can happen when children can remove the affecting foods from their diet and let their body heal at a better pace. And so it kind of comes down to what's behind this, what's causing this. And so one of the things that's important to know is that there's a deeper root cause, and that's usually within your GI system, but typically caused by stress. And so when we talk about stress, so many people will think, why is my kid stressed? What does stress have to do with food? My kid doesn't have to pay the bills, the mortgage, etc. But our bodies cannot tell the difference between stress from a saber-toothed tiger or stress from physical, chemical, emotional issues. And so babies do experience stress, children experience stress, and it's found that really there's no difference in the amount of stress a child feels to what an adult feels. And so our body just can't tell the difference between something that should be a life or death situation or something that should be a relatively mundane experience, and especially if our nervous system is out of whack. And so one of the things that we see, kids start at our office because they have a history of stress, a plethora of stress. Typically it starts from birth, pregnancy, the birth trauma. There's something going on that's causing these children to have more stress, which affects their vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is what is responsible for the resting, digesting, healing, and growing in the body. And so when a child isn't able to fully utilize that vagus nerve, it's not sending the appropriate signals, their body isn't doing things like resting and digesting, it causes issues within the gut. And so stress in general, whether it's chemical, physical, or emotional, is also going to affect our gut. Our gut is our second brain. It's where our immune system lives. And so the gut is very, very important. And any stress, whether you perceive it as stress, your child does. And so any of the stress can cause issues with the gut. It can start creating openings of the epithelium, some tight junctions to open. It can cause issues with other immune responses like SIgA or SIgA. And there's all these other things that happen when we eat food that we don't even realize that happen. And so food intolerances are something that is getting a bit more attention, and for good reason. So we see kids who come to our office and maybe have tried to cut out gluten or tried to cut out dairy and not had much success. One thing, if they can start chiropractic care, especially nervous system-based chiropractic care, and then try to cut out those foods, that's eliminating some of the inflammation on their body, and they can have much better results, much better healing within our office. But also, we see kids who come and they've never tried to eliminate foods. They've never eliminated food dye or dairy or corn or any of the things that can cause inflammation. And so it's really interesting when we start talking about diet, start kind of investigating that for them, potentially even doing a food sensitivity test. We can see so much more healing for kids when we remove those foods that are basically affecting their nervous system, causing inflammation, causing severe stress within the body as well, and just perpetuating that gut issue. So it's something that we talk about a lot. If you've been to our office, you know that we are always talking about food. And we do offer those food sensitivity testing. So there's 2 companies currently that we use for this testing. One, you can get blood drawn in an office, and the other is just a blood spot you can do at home and send in. Both will come back with the results of an IgG test, meaning it's that delayed sensitivity. It is the sensitivity that can happen and cause issues 3 hours after eating a food or 3 days after eating a food, which is why a food elimination diet makes it very, very hard to pinpoint which food, because it might not affect you for a day or 2. And then the next time you eat it, it might affect you quicker. And so it's really hard to do an elimination diet. It takes a very long time. And there's so many foods that could be offending your body that it's so hard to cut them out at the same time to see really true results. So we really talk a lot about doing this testing, the supplements needed to help heal the gut, to reduce that inflammation, and to allow our care to work better and as optimally as it can. So if you're interested in any of this food sensitivity testing, let us know. We definitely offer this all of the time. It's something that we're really used to doing and can read the results really quickly. And if this care, just working on the GI system, calming down that vagus nerve in the body, having overall nervous system care is something that is sounding appealing for your child or for you, please let us know. You can call our office to schedule scans, or you can just message us and let us know if you have any questions. If you need to find a chiropractor in your area that also does this, we are happy to help at any time. So hopefully, if you are someone who is thinking about food intolerances or sensitivities, you can reach out and get more information from us. Have a great day.